all the YouTube enjoyers. Stay GigaChat and Twitch chat say something family friendly to the YouTube right now. So today, the director reacted by doing his own stream. What's he reacting to? Reacting to the Korea invent, the community raging hard on the recent raid, which is Act 3. And that Act 3 actually so many problems, like, the raid difficulty, raid reward being bad, so on and so forth. Raid difficulty. So he did say on the last law on that he said it's gonna be an appropriate level of the difficulty, and the people were expecting it's gonna be easier than Bro Shaza because Act 2 was like pretty hard on week 1. But it turns out he acknowledges that he did fail balancing the difficulty for Act 3. What he's saying is that there were some mech or patterns that were very hard to like dodge or requiring immediate reaction. So it required both brain and hands, and he's gonna nerf some of those patterns upcoming week. There's been a lot of people who are concerned about the final act, the Kazuras. He says that unlike the Feimine, from the release, they will split the difficulty to 3. Normal mode, hard mode, and the first mode. So initially, they said that Gate 3 is the one in the Act 3 that is specifically hard that people think. And he did say that, yes, we did intend to make Gate 3 out of all the 3 gates in Act 3 to be harder. And that is because if we make the entire 3 gate easy, then people might feel a huge wall in front of them when they try to do the final act, the Kazuras himself, because Kazuras raid is gonna be really hard. Now, this is an interesting statistic. He actually brought up a data showing the clear rate of the Act 3 hard mode on week 1. Gate 1, 93%, so it is very easy as you guys see. Now from Gate 2, it decreases to 78%, okay. Now Gate 3 is 27% spam Omega Lu. It is very low. And by the way, he did brought another reference for Act 2. When Bro came out in KR for the first week, Gate 1 Narok was 36% clear rate. That's already low, right? And Gate 2 Braille was 38%. They are gonna nerf some of the patterns and mech on the upcoming week. The reward being bad was also brought up. He did acknowledge that the rewards are really bad considering even though it's a new raid, the end content. But he says that we were like thinking a lot to balance out the reward because we didn't want the gold inflation, but it looks like we thought too much, he says. We will immediately buff the amount of the gold for hard mode Gate 3, and what's gonna happen is that they're gonna increase it from 16k to 20k. And also, they're gonna increase the amount of the mats that you can get from the bonus loot on Act 3 hard mode. And also, they're gonna give Valganus Wing, which is a ride, the transmog, when you clear the Act 3 certain times, just like the the Bro Shaza pet from the old Braille, like 5 time and 10 time. And the next one is a balance patch. As you guys might have known, this Act 3 requires good utility, but there's a lot of classes that have bad utility, right? They are gonna do the buff and nerfs on certain classes. Not only that, they're gonna actually try to change some of the arc passive, the enlightenment point part and the leap part. Also improve some of the utility on classes that have bad utility. I expect summoner kind of cases, right? So this happens in February 26th. You know that when you hit the shield in Lost Ark, then it says absorb, absorb, abozo, aboba, right? You will be able to see actual damage font in a blue color. The damage to the shield will be applied to the MVP like calculation as well. Spam XDD. This means for the Western who are Christians who read the Bible, now you have to start hard DPSing on the shield as well. He says that when there is a wind zone, for example, when you get pushed by the wind, I'm thinking about like Gate 2 Behemoth kind of stuff. Every classes will stay still on where they are, basically when they're in the animation of using the skill. That's pretty good, right? And the thing is, I'm not sure if this only applies to the Behemoth Gate 2 though, because something that works similar to that wind is, you know, in the Act 2 Brill, in the Gate 2, there's this like, you know, black hole pattern where she goes front with one hand like this and then sucks everything by rotating clockwise, right? That one, certain skills didn't root yourself and you get sucked in. I feel like that part is even included on here, the strike raid. So people who doesn't know what the strike raid is, it's coming in March 26th. It's a new raid that is temporary, lasting for 3 or like 4 months, he says. It does not have a gold sink. It is there just to give you honing mats and gold. And this raid, even though it's temporary, it will kick out the top 3 gold earning. The difficulty is gonna be easy, he says. And there's like 2 different mode. There's 8-man raid and there's 4-man raid. And each of these raid also have another split mode, which is difficulty, normal, hard. Normal mode is 1660 and hard is 1700 on 4-man raid. But if you look at the 8-man raid, normal is 680, but hard is 1720. You guys might say, what? Are they out of their mind finally? Something like that. For Korea, the Act 3 gives advanced honing from 21 to 40. Then 1720 does not look like a level that's hard to get into. The kind of the materials that you get is same, the kind. Just the amount has a difference. Of course, the hard will get more, right? And that's it. So if I read the best comment on here, there's like, you know, people memeing. So when the director said that the Act 3 difficulty was harder than I thought, this indirectly means that the director is shitting on the Korean players, saying that I didn't know that you guys sucked this much. Spam OM, guys. Looks like, you know, more than half of the people are not satisfied with the stream because he didn't cover the bus and the oppa system problem. But at the same time, there are like, you know, people who are, you know, basically the white knights, like feeling satisfied, like stop like, you know, shitting on the director. He did good, something like that. So let me wrap up with my own opinion. I think that matters a lot. So let me talk about the raid difficulty first. Me, I cleared on week 1 with Lustboy and Fast. Saint also cleared it with his own party. The common thing that me and Saint think about the difficulty on Act 3 is it's not like that hard. Now the thing is, that's the fake difficulty. Doing with the static is the fake difficulty in my opinion for this game. The real difficulty is when you go into the pug. Majority of the people pugs in this game. So that should be considered as the real difficulty in my opinion. And the director, it looks like he missed out that part in my opinion. And I think that they should well balance the difficulty on whatever new raid that they make, considering how difficult it's gonna be on a pug. TLDR, difficulty should be balanced around pug. Period. Alright, last one is the raid reward. So this one, I actually have an invent post that I saw. What they say is that they can't believe the director tried to like adjust the gold inflation by touching the reward of the end contents. The invent people say what the director should have done is they should reduce the amount of the gold and stuff on the low tier, like basically the 1640, the Behemoth, Echidna, like Thamine. And now the thing is this, so it is true that the amount of the reward that the end content is giving was so bad. Like compared to the Act 2, it was not even a 5,000 gold difference, even though it had 1 more gate, 3 gates in total. But then, like, you know, how we're gonna balance out the gold inflation? Then you have to like kill the gold in the lower tier, right? If you don't want to touch the end content. But then what's gonna happen is that the actual new players or return players who are playing at that level, they're gonna get effed, right? So this is the thing that I feel that it's a never-ending, you know, conflict. They never came up with a like, you know, correct solution. So the correct solution is there's so many ARM tiers in Korea, the individual ARM tiers, and also like some manual bots, right? And they are all at 1640, by the way. They produce a massive amount of gold by doing Echidna, Behemoth, and Thamine. They take bus. If you see my latest YouTube video about like KR people raging, in this game, for those low 3-tier content, if you take a bus, then you earn a positive amount of gold because the amount of the gold that you get from clearing the raid is higher than the bus fee, which also results into the gold inflation as well. So people have been pointing out that they should do something on this bus and the oppa service system, and the director did not say anything about that, which I think he should be scolded on. But again, if they like reduce the gold on those raid, how will new player and return player will deal with this? So they have to come up with something that can just exactly filter those RM tiers and the botters and then eliminate them from the game. But if they knew how to do that, then the game would have not suffered from this bad system till now, right? They can't. They don't have any way to do that. Like, it's very disencouraging. We need to lean on AGS, guys. For West, not the small gate. AGS, I'm sure they're gonna do something good to save the West Lost Ark, right? I believe you. 07. Stay here, shit. Spam loaded.